3.
That was an ass whooping.
That game was just from the opening snap. Just explain that game. If you can paint a picture of how that game was, when Vasquez snapped that ball to Peyton and went over his head, yeah, that was just a things to come. And I try not to remember that game, man. That hurt. I'm just being in Boston, man, just watching that game with some friends, and all the time they're Patriots fans. So I'm sitting there like, yeah, man, we know we got to the bowl, we beat y'all, look confident, everything like that. And they just looked at me, and I just looked at the TV, and just kept eyeing straight. And just by the third quarter, when I realized it was over. But when I realized it was over,
it was over at halftime.
I said my goodbyes to everybody, and that was a long drive back to Framingham. So,
and then he packed up and drove back to Florida.
So, what are some of the things that Denver can take away from that game? Because a lot of players, matter of fact, like TJ Ward said, we're not even talking about that game. They don't want to hear about it.
That's exactly what they have to do. Don't even think about that game. Don't let it get in your head. Don't let it think about it. You were there before. You do not want to leave with that same taste in your mouth, and you don't want to go out on another end of another ass whooping. Don't even think about it. Don't let it bother you. Don't even let it get in your head. Just be done with it. Don't take nothing away from it. Take away that you wasn't even there. You was not there for that. You don't remember none of it.
Gotcha. Your thoughts, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, you got to just get it out of your head. You don't. The one thing they really need to do, and if it starts getting in your head, you really just don't want to start seeing the same shit that you saw from that Seattle ass beating. You know what I mean? You don't want to start seeing that. You know, they need to, like Kevin was just saying, you need to just get it out your head because it's a totally different team now. You know what I mean? You don't want to start going, oh no, here we go again, shit. No, you get it out of the way. You've been here before. You know, you're a professional. Put it out your head. Let's get it going. You know, that's what they need to concentrate on and just focus on. The senior people there, the leaders need to just step up and say, hey, they control this. You know what you need to do and go from there.
Yeah, this was a Denver team that had the number 1 ranked offense in the NFL that year. Peyton Manning broke the single-season touchdown record. That offense was firing on all cylinders. That defense did go into the Super Bowl missing Von Miller and Chris Harris Jr., but still, that won to save them from that 43-8 massacre that happened on that field. This is a game where, like Kevin and Steve said, this is where they need to forget about it because right now they're coming in, which my times have changed because they come in with number 1 defense. John Elway saw that they really need to do some stuff with the defense, and they did this with free agency. They were saying something earlier I saw on the websites that Denver actually is the first team to spend about 50% of their players through free agency. That's been the most thing because most teams do going through the draft. Carolina had about 22% about where they commit players to free agency and everything like that. So that was a lot. They did have a list on there with the teams that Denver was the second. I think they had Miami was first, Jacksonville was 5th on there and everything like that. So just as far as spending money on free agency and everything like that, as far as getting what was the makeup of your team.
Yeah.
So they were just showing.
Well, right now we better jump to fucking number 1.
So
exactly.
It was crazy, man. I sit there and that's one of the games I really do think about, man. I was sitting there watching. I mean, as a fan, you sit there and you just ask for a competitive game. You really do. And I just remember the next day, man. Just the more support I got from my friends about. Man, that was one hell of a beating, huh? Kevin was one of them.
The words out of my mouth to Cortez before the game was, Percy Harvin is going to score, and Percy Harvin is going to have a big night. First fucking play for Seattle, Percy Harvin runs for 30 yards. Then they throw a pass to him for 15. Then he runs back that kickoff, and I was like, I told you.
I remember.
Cortez was like, shut up.
I turn off the phone probably about the third quarter. I turned off my phone. I drove. Listen, this how you know.
I think the only thing I sent you though was damn.
Yeah.
I think that was the only thing.
That's the only thing. Yeah, the only thing you sent me. Like,
the only thing I sent you after that was
literally turn off my phone. The one time I drive without my loud music in my car, I turned it down. Drove in complete silence where it was snow on the ground in Boston.
It was like a death. It was like he was waiting for the Undertaker to
I logged out of Twitter for a week. I logged out of Facebook for a week. Every time ESPN came on, I turned my head. Some of my coworkers that I work with definitely remind me of the game, and I was like, I don't want to talk about it. It's like, I don't want to talk about it. So after my morning for about 2 weeks, when we actually started the podcast, when I was actually getting over, what does Kevin say? Oh, we don't want to talk about that blowout game. What happened in the Super Bowl? And so I was like, stab knife in the side. But
you were like, we're talking about All-Star Weekend. I was like, yeah, because we're not talking about football, are they?
No, we're definitely not. So, but you're right, man. This team is really talented on defensive end, and they have to focus on that. And they just got to move on from this and everything like that. It is a new makeup team, new players. You got a few players that still is on that team that experienced that. But for the most part, like they said, don't remind me of the game. And y'all both touch on that. So, hey, this is the first matchup between the first two draft picks of the 2011 draft. Of course, Cam Newton to the Panthers and Von Miller to the Broncos. So
this is the first time they've ever played each other.
Yeah.
Well.
So, I wanted to propose a little thing here for the fellas. That draft was pretty.
No! We're not talking about this draft.
So I want to go ahead and.
This draft don't not exist.
I wanted to redo the top 10 picks of this draft.
I can redo them in a hurry.
I'm going to go ahead and go through the top 10 picks, let y'all know what's going on.
No.
Cam Newton, number 1. Von Miller's number 2. Marcel Darius going to Buffalo, number 3.
Oy.
AJ Green going to Cincinnati. Patrick Peterson going to Arizona. Julia Jones going to Atlanta.
Who? Julio Jones?
Yep.
Julio Jones.
Julio Jones.
Who the hell is Julio Jones?
Cousin.
That's his cousin.
That's his cousin, Julio Jones.
That's his cousin.
Alden Smith going to San Fran. Jake Locker going to Tennessee. Tyron Smith going to Dallas. And number 10, Blaine Gabbert going to Jacksonville. And number 11 was J.J. Watt. Just had to fit that in there. Some of these other picks are looking. Christian Powers, number 12. But I look at Mike Pouncey winning this round. You got
Ryan Kerrigan.
Yeah.
No one knows him.
So you look through here. I go through some of this list here.
Prince of Nakamura.
Yeah. So I mean, even here, Mark Ingram was 28th. Cameron Hayward was number 31 there for him. The second round, third round, it was a deep draft, man. Look, I was looking over some of this just a few days ago, and even now, just looking at how deep this draft was. So, Andy Dalton went the second round. Colin Kaepernick was right after him. Just name a few of these players. So, Cal Rudolph, the tight end from Minnesota, he's having a productive career. Raheem Moore, he's not with the Broncos anymore.
Orlando Franklin.
Yeah. So
not related to Clifford Franklin from The Replacement.
So,
did I tell you about that shit?
No.
I put out a tweet saying Ted Ginn looks like the dude from The Replacements, where he was not catching the ball. The fucking dude that played Clifford Franklin, Orlando. What's his name? Orlando. Something Franklin. Yeah. He liked the tweet.
That's great. Randall Cobb was the last pick of the second round.
Damn.
So solid pick for the Green Bay Packers in the second round. Some of these other picks here that I'm looking through in the third round, I'm not going to go any higher than this. But Stephen Ridley, Ryan Mallett. Remember that guy?
Who?
Will Rackley.
Will Rackley, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, not here.
Hankerson he's notched out a decent career as a receiver. I believe DeMarco Murray's in this round. Where is he at? Maybe he's in the fourth round, but I know he's in one of these rounds here. But yeah, I saw DeMarco Murray was in the fourth round. So this was a solid draft, man. For some. So, do y'all want to redo?
No, we do not want to redo it.
Steve, you want to take a nap of this, or you good?
I'm good, man.
Y'all Jacksonville fan heard about that a little bit? Or
We would switch number 10 and 11. Actually, they fucking traded up to 10 to get him.
And you remember the biggest thing was it was supposed to. Remember we were hearing it was going to be Blaine Gabbert was going to be the number one pick, and then it wound up being Cam Newton.
Yeah.
And you think if had not wonder where Cam Newton might have been.
I see.
You know.
Go back to it again. If Blaine Gabbert would have went number one to Carolina, but nobody here. Well,
Buffalo.
Who was Buffalo's quarterback at the time? Because if Buffalo needed a quarterback, they would have took Blaine Gabbert. None of these teams needed a quarterback.
Tennessee probably would have got him.
Yeah, Tennessee would have probably picked him at number 8.
That would fucking suck, bro.
Yeah, then we would have ended up with Jake Locker.
Oh man, so I would definitely probably keep Cam and Von at 1 and 2. I like Von Miller, man. He's been my favorite player since he's been drafted there.
Not to never get.
So I'm waiting until he actually nails out a contract extension with us before I should buy his jersey. So
you sound like me there.
Yeah, I gotta wait till
now you sounded like me.
Yeah, exactly. So number 3, of course, J.J. Watt. I go number 3 with Buffalo. I keep A.J. Green. You know what? No, I go with Julio Jones. I go Julio Jones at number 4.
Yeah, Julio over A.J.
Yeah.
Because I remember Atlanta moved up.
Mm-hmm.
They gave away like their whole draft to get up to number 6 to get Julio.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they give away almost their whole thing.
Imagine A.J. Green and Larry Fitzgerald together.
In Arizona.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, then I'd probably have Peterson at number 6. I'm trying to see how I move up. Then I probably would take if I'm Atlanta, I'd probably take DeMarco Murray. I'm just going.
Back then, they didn't need him.
Yeah. Yeah, back then they didn't. Yeah, they didn't need him. Yeah,
they didn't need him. Yeah.
No. But that's why I'm looking at this here, man. Yeah, it's so much talent here. You got Mike Pouncey.
We would have took anybody but fucking Blaine Gabbert or Jake Locker.
Even
or Christian Ponder.
Even for Detroit, number 13 was Nick Fairley.
Oh,
so I mean that was a solid.
Fairley was solid in Detroit. He was solid.
So Christian Ponder.
The quarterbacks drafted in the first round were doo-doo, except for Cam Newton. Except for Cam Newton, the quarterbacks drafted in the first round of that draft were doo-doo. Doo-doo.
So is it possible that...
And that was doo-doo!
So yeah, Andy Dalton should have been first round pick too. You would have considered that.
He played like he's a...
Yeah. Andy Dalton, you maybe Tennessee probably dropped Dalton instead of, if they was to redo and get a quarterback.
Doo-doo.
Because where's Locker at now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Remember you got Cecil Shores?
No, fuck. This draft sucked.
In the 4th round, so...
Oh, and oh my God, this draft was fucking horrible. Get away from this shit. We're talking Super Bowl.
Cortez Allen.
Of course. Look who y'all got at fucking 32.
Julius Thomas, man. So that was the bargain there. Hey, look at this guy. Y'all didn't draft him, but guess what? Kevin's like, just get away.
Everybody that's on our fucking team now was drafted in this draft. Except we didn't fucking draft them.
Just didn't get the gym through this draft.
Get the fuck out of this. Stop talking about this shit.
All right, let's go to a commercial break. All right, we're going to move in, because we're going to bounce around and talk a little bit about what's going on, around the Super Bowl as well. So, the commercials.
My favorite part.
So, who do you think will have the best commercial? And I'll go with you, Steve. I
don't know. There have been some pretty damn good ones, man. Like, wasn't Snickers the one where the two guys were working on a car and they...
No, the rock, paper, scissors?
You were the one where they had to rip off their shirts because they thought they, kissed or something they're working on the car. Like, let's rip off our shirts and do something manly. Or something like that.
I think that was it.
That was one of them.
The Coors Light commercial where they were playing rock, paper, scissors.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy goes scissors, and the guy picks up a physical fucking rock and drills him with it and takes the Coors Light.
That was great. Who you got, Kevin?
The ones I'm looking forward to this year are all the movie.
The trailers,
The movie